Hello, my name is Angela Adams. I am an LMSW here in the state of Mississippi, and I am also a graduate clinician here at the University Counseling Center. Welcome back to Mindful Mondays. And today, I want to talk to you about mindfulness of your current thoughts and how it is that you can be mindful or tuned into the things that are actually going on with your thoughts in your mind. To do that, we want to look at 4 different things you can do to be mindful of your thoughts. First, you want to learn to observe your thoughts. And to do this, you have to be willing to practice looking at your thoughts and not suppressing them. Not keeping them around for longer periods of time, but being non judgmental, not analyzing, and just willing to observe your thoughts as they enter into your mind. Also, if you're going to be mindful of your thoughts, adopt a curious mind. Start to observe, but do not evaluate your thoughts. Let go of the judgments. Ask questions. Another thing that you want to do is remember that you are not your thoughts. Whatever thoughts you are having at the current time, there was also a time when the things that you think now, you were not thinking, because our thoughts change. So you can have some very different thoughts at very different times, and keep in mind that you're not actually your thoughts, and you don't have to act on your thoughts. Finally, if we're going to be mindful of our current thoughts, we want to make sure that we don't try to block or suppress the thoughts. Play with your thoughts. Repeat the thoughts out loud. Sing your thoughts. You can imagine your thoughts as words that are all jumbled up in a record. You can imagine them as cute little animals or bright colors, or really you can imagine them as sounds. Just don't try to suppress them. Allow them to be what they are. And another thing that you want to consider, try loving on your thoughts, because they're yours. And some of your thoughts may be bad, but not all thoughts are bad thoughts. So if you're having thoughts and lots of thoughts going through your mind, maybe there are some thoughts that you can actually love and enjoy and consider to be good thoughts. So right now, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about various ways that you can practice being mindful of your current thoughts. Or maybe you can label the thought. The thought of flowers in the springtime just entered my mind. Or the thought of that squirrel in the grove has just entered my mind. Label your thoughts and allow them to be what they are. And when you're doing this labeling, use a gentle tone. Use a voice that is loving and considerate of the thought. The other thing you want to do while you're observing your thought is ask, where did this thought come from? And then watch your mind and see if you can see where it came from. Sometimes our thoughts are connected to previous thoughts. Sometimes our thoughts form a pattern. So if you could step back from your mind and look at the pattern that goes along with where your thoughts come from. Maybe it is a random thought and there is no pattern, and it just popped in there because you happen to look over and see a squirrel in the grove. The other thing you want to do as you observe your thoughts is close your eyes and start to scan your body for physical sensations that are related to that thought. Maybe the thought is coming along because of the way that you are feeling. So you can shift back and forward from physical sensations in your body to the thoughts that you're having in your mind at an actual time. And looking at your emotional feelings. Maybe your thought is related to an emotional state. Maybe you're angry at the squirrel that you saw in the grove, and you can feel anger, and this thought pops up. Or there's another thought that comes along that's based on the fact that it's a rainy day or it's a cold day, or because you've had a sad morning, and there are thoughts that are related to that. But being able to feel the physical sensations that go along with your actual thought patterns. Okay, I'm cold, so I'm thinking, gosh, it's a cold day. The other thing you want to do as you practice being mindful is think about your tone of voice. Verbalize your thoughts and your beliefs out loud, but use a non-judgmental tone of voice. Yes, it may be an angry thought. However, you don't have to yell at it or be angry about it. And as you say these thoughts, as you verbalize them out loud, verbalize them over and over as fast as you can. Do this until the thought makes no sense. Maybe it's a thought that you want to try to eliminate, or it's a thought that is bothering you and has changed your physical sensation and has changed your feelings or mood. So you say this thought as fast as you can over and over until it makes no sense, until it almost becomes like a nursery rhyme or a tongue twister. Because at this point, you're getting to where you are using your own voice to diffuse those thoughts. Maybe you say it very, very slowly, and you breathe between each word. Or maybe you use a really high-pitched voice or a really low-pitched voice or some type of voice like a cartoon character. Go back to the squirrel in the tree. Maybe you figure out how to sound like a squirrel, because I see a squirrel in the tree suddenly becomes funnier, or something that you can eliminate, something that you can move around and change your thought patterns related to. Sometimes you can use thoughts in your mind and turn them into a song. Sing it wholeheartedly, sing it dramatically, sing it in a tune that fits the thought. Maybe you're having a thought that today is going to be a bad day, or I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But if you sing that long enough and you turn it into a really loud, foolhardy song, maybe it becomes today is going to be a good day. And you change the thought. So thinking about how you can use your voice and your verbal tone to work with the thoughts that are going through your mind, and also not suppressing those thoughts either. You also might want to consider practicing mindfulness of thoughts using opposite actions. You relax your face and body while imagining accepting your thoughts as only thoughts, sensations of the brain. Just because you thought it was going to be a bad day doesn't necessarily make it a bad day. These are sensations of the brain. They come into our mind and they go. Imagine things you would do if you stopped believing everything that you think. Maybe you have thoughts that people are talking about you, or everyone is against you. But is that something that you can prove? So imagine what you would do if you stopped believing everything that you think. Instead of focusing on the thought, focus on what you do if you don't believe this thought. Rehearse in your mind the things that you would do if you don't view your thoughts as facts. Remember, you are not your thoughts. So the things that you believe to be going on with other people may not be so either. And finally, go back to practice loving on your thoughts as they go through your mind. If the thought pops into your mind that everybody doesn't like me, yes, I understand. That's a thought that I'm having. And that is a good thought for just a moment, and now it's gone. Next thing you want to do is think about your thoughts in how your mind is. How do you perceive your mind to be? One way of being mindful of the thoughts that are going on in your head is to consider your mind or your brain to be a conveyor belt. And thoughts and feelings are going down the belt. And they're moving in and they're moving out. Put each thought in a box. It's like working on an assembly line. As the thoughts come down the belt, you put each thought in a box. And you label it what type of thought it is. Maybe it's a worried thought. Maybe it's a happy thought. Maybe it's thoughts about the past, thoughts about the future, thoughts about my mother. Whatever it is, you put each thought into a box, into a compartment as it comes off of the belt. And you just keep sorting and labeling those thoughts until you get to the point where you feel like you are clearer. Maybe you can imagine your thoughts, your mind to be a river. And thoughts and feelings and boats are going down the river. If you've ever been in any water park, you know, they have some things called the lazy river, and everybody just gets on the float and rides around the river. Think about your thoughts as being on the lazy river, just riding around. Maybe they go under a waterfall, maybe they don't. Maybe they bump up against some other thoughts in your mind, maybe they don't. You know, think about how they ride on the floaty. Maybe they dangle their feet over the side. Maybe they stick the floaty over their whole body. But this is a thought, and it's going around the river. And when it comes to the end, it will depart. The goal is to be mindful of what the current thoughts are, to learn how to observe them, to learn how to not judge, analyze them, and to learn to accept that you're going to have some thoughts, some negative thoughts, some positive thoughts, some thoughts that may be fact, some thoughts that are not. But these thoughts are going to exist, and when they are inside of your mind, this is your opportunity to be mindful of them and think about what it is that you want to do with them. Thank you again for joining me, and hopefully we can get a little bit closer to loving on our thoughts and realizing that they are a part of us, but they're not who we are. Have a good day.